Sometimes I just sit here in this old chair watching the world spin by. And I can't help but wonder what happened to us. When I was a young man, people used to talk to each other, really talk. Not this quick, distracted sort of chatter. No conversations that stretched deep into the night, conversations where you looked someone in the eye and felt them. You felt their soul in the way they spoke, in the pauses, in the quiet between the words. Now I see people walking down the street with their heads bowed, not in prayer, not in thought, but to a little screen glowing in their hands. Everyone's staring at these little rectangles like they're holding the world in their palms, but forgetting the one right in front of them. Families sit together, but they're not really together. They're side by side, but miles apart. I remember when neighbors would stop at the gate, just to chat. No reason, no agenda. Just talk. A shared silence even had a kind of warmth to it. But now if silence falls, people get nervous. They reach for the glow in their pockets like it's some kind of lifeline. They fill the air with noise, but the kind that doesn't mean anything. It scares me a little, if I'm honest, because we're losing something. Something quiet, something sacred. We're losing the art of being with one another. And I don't mean physically, I mean truly with listening, seeing, feeling. I watch the young ones. They're clever, smarter than we ever were in some ways. But I wonder if they've ever had a conversation that cracked them open. The kind that leaves you changed. I wonder if they know the sound of laughter around a table without a single device in sight. If they know what it's like to tell a story and see someone's eyes light up. Not because they liked it, but because it touched them. I'm old enough now to have fewer years ahead than behind. And I worry about what's coming. How do we find our way back? How do we remember what it means to belong to each other? To be human, not just users, not just avatars, not just names on a glowing screen, but living, breathing, imperfect human beings. There's a kind of emptiness now, people wrapped in their own little bubbles, scrolling their lives away. And it's not that they're bad. No, they're just lost. Lost in a kind of noise that feels like connection but isn't. I don't have answers, I'm just an old man with too much time to think. But I hope, God, I hope, that one day people will look up again. I hope someone will put the phone down and say, "Tell me about your day," and really mean it. I hope there'll be voices again around kitchen tables, stories shared on front porches, hands held without distraction. Because if we can't find our way back to each other, then what's left of living? Maybe the future isn't written yet. Maybe someone somewhere will remember, and that will be enough to start again. I remember a night many years ago. It was late summer, warm enough that the air still held the smell of dry grass. I was sitting on the old wooden steps of my mother's house. My best friend sat next to me. We were both about 17. He just lost his father. I didn't know what to say. I thought I needed the perfect words, something wise, but I didn't. He just sat there, looking at the ground, and then suddenly, he broke. Tears just came, no warning, no hiding. He let them fall like rain on dry earth. And I remember, he didn't look weak. Not for a second. He looked real human. That night taught me something. Sometimes strength isn't about holding it all in. It's about having the courage to let it out. Somewhere along the way, though, we started treating vulnerability like it was a problem to be fixed. We built little walls around ourselves and called them strength. That's not strength. That's fear with armor on. True strength isn't in the mask, it's in the moment the mask comes off. It's in the crack in the voice, the trembling hand, the honesty in the eyes when someone says, "This is what I'm carrying." I think about that night often, because it was real. No distractions, no pretending, just one person letting the world see the weight on their shoulders and me, just sitting there, bearing witness. Being vulnerable doesn't mean you're broken. It means you trust that your pain, your story, your truth has a place in this world and that it matters. The funny thing is, when one person opens up, it's like a small light turning on in a dark room. Suddenly, others can see too. Suddenly they feel safe to speak. And that's where real connection begins. So maybe what we need isn't more strength, but more courage to be seen. The courage to let the walls down, if only for a moment, so someone else can find their way in. That night on the steps, I didn't say a word. And I didn't need to. His vulnerability did the talking. And somehow, it was enough. You know, when I was younger, I thought I knew exactly what I wanted. A good job, a house, a car that started every morning without complaining. Back then, I thought wanting those things meant I had direction. But somewhere along the way, I learned something different. There's a kind of wanting that comes from the head, and then there's another kind that comes quietly, from somewhere deeper. The kind that doesn't shout, it just sits there waiting for you to listen. I remember a woman I knew years ago. She had everything she thought she wanted. A big house, nice clothes, always busy, always somewhere to be. But one day she told me something I've never forgotten. She said, "You know, the only time I really feel alive is when I sit with someone who actually listens to me." That stuck with me, because I knew exactly what she meant. When you get older, you start to notice what really matters. Not the noise, not the shiny things. It's the moments when someone looks at you and they're really there. Not half scrolling on a phone, not rushing to say their piece, just there. But to have that, to really connect like that, you've got to be comfortable in your own skin. Because if you don't see your own worth, you'll keep chasing things that will never give it to you. It took me a long time to learn that. I used to wait for other people to make me feel valuable. Now, I just know I am not because of anything I've done, just because I exist, because I'm here. It's funny, isn't it? You spend half your life chasing what you think you want, only to find what you really wanted was right in front of you the whole time, to be seen, to be heard, to be loved, simply for being who you are. That's the real wanting. The kind that doesn't fade when the noise dies down.